The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody. He's a macho Savage. You're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. Say it, the macho.
Wrestling fans throughout Radio Land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the Ugandan Giant Kamala. And that's my story.
You can hear words to describe the Trash Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done is by using a screwdriver to cut roast beef. This is Lunaver Sean, the other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loony.
What the? I'm getting mad now. Helps when you use the right computer, though.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody. He's a macho Savage. You're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. Say it, the macho.
Wrestling fans throughout Radio Land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the Ugandan Giant Kamala.
Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done is by using a screwdriver to cut roast beef. This is Lunaver Sean, the other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one together.
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, when the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much. It's Trash Talking Radio. It's Tuesday night. It's feedback. Oh, kill it. Oh, kill the feedback. Okay. It's feedback time. All right. So, what a weird day. We couldn't get the show working right. I don't really know why. And I do know that we had all kinds of fun getting this far. All right, now it's starting to work. Okay. We're starting to see it work. I did some fine tuning on it and kind of screwed it up, I guess. I don't know. How you doing, Doug? You were here.
We are here, and I'm doing fine.
Yeah, what a weird way to start the show. Actually, this is the second time. The first time we forgot to hit the play button or the record button. So that's what happens when you have live radio. And hey, I'm even moving on the screen. That's good. That didn't lock up yet. So what it is we're trying to use technology to make the show better, and it ends up doing just the opposite sometimes. But our pictures still aren't on the screen. Okay, hold on. I knew I forgot something. I got so many things to do here. I think I'm doing everything, and wait, there's you. Okay, and there's me. All right, we're ready. Hey, we can actually do a show now.
Do a show.
I'm hoping to get this. There's got to be a way I can make this all work together. I got so many pieces of the puzzle, and I'm trying to make all the pieces work, but there's some really sharp edges on some of these pieces. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it the way I want to do it, but we're gonna figure it out. That's all I can say. We got some good stuff. I want to talk about some really cool stuff. Actually, the first thing I'd like to play is the George. You have to let me know with a thumbs up or something if you.
George Foreman, champion and successful entrepreneur, passed away on March 21st, 2025.
I guess I should turn us
age
off
of
so that they can see the stuff
Born
I have.
on January 10th, 1949, in Marshall, Texas, Foreman's journey from a troubled youth to a global icon is a testament to resilience, determination, and reinvention. Early life and boxing career. Growing up in Houston's Fifth Ward, Foreman faced numerous challenges. However, his life took a pivotal turn when he joined the Job Corps, where he discovered boxing. His natural talent quickly became evident, and in 1968, with limited experience, he secured a gold medal at the Mexico City Olympics in the heavyweight division. Turning professional in 1969, Foreman rapidly ascended the ranks. In 1973, he captured the world heavyweight title by defeating Joe Frazier, knocking him down 6 times in 2 rounds, a performance that solidified his reputation as a formidable puncher. The Rumble in the Jungle and initial retirement. One of Foreman's most notable bouts was the 1974 Rumble in the Jungle against Muhammad Ali in Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Despite being the favorite, Foreman suffered an 8th-round knockout, a defeat that became legendary in boxing history. After a loss to Jimmy Young in 1977, Foreman experienced a life-altering spiritual awakening, leading him to retire from boxing and become an ordained minister. He established the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ in Houston and dedicated himself to his community, founding a youth center to provide guidance and opportunities for underprivileged children. Historic comeback and business ventures. A decade later, driven by a desire to fund his youth center, Foreman made an unprecedented comeback. Defying critics, he regained the heavyweight title in 1994 at the age of 45, defeating Michael Moorer, becoming the oldest heavyweight champion in history, a record that still stands. Beyond boxing, Foreman became a savvy entrepreneur. His endorsement of the George Foreman grill transformed it into a household staple, selling over 100 million units worldwide. This venture not only showcased his business acumen but also endeared him to a broader audience. Legacy and tributes. Foreman's impact extended beyond the ring and boardroom. He was a symbol of second chances and reinvention, inspiring countless individuals with his life's narrative. His affable personality made him a beloved figure, and his story has been chronicled in various media, including documentaries and autobiographies. Upon his passing, tributes poured in from around the world. President Donald Trump referred to Foreman as a great fighter and man, highlighting their personal friendship. Fellow athletes, celebrities and fans alike commemorated his contributions to sports and society. George Foreman's life journey, from a challenging upbringing to global stardom, spiritual fulfillment, and business success, serves as an enduring inspiration. His legacy as a fighter, philanthropist, and entrepreneur will be remembered for generations to come. Tributes pour in for boxing legend George.
All right, that's our tribute to George. Let me get us turned back. Okay, 1, 2. All right, we got it. Hey, we did it. We got through one thing. All right, now we've got another whole other issue. I just thought of a way that I can fix that, but I can't fix it on the fly, I think. We got to figure out how we can make everybody be able to hear things. So, all right. What else? What else you? What else? Can you hear me now, Doug?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. Okay, good. All right. All right, here we go. So George is done. George was a really interesting guy. I liked, there was a show that he was on with William Shatner, Fonzie, and who was the fourth person? There were 4 of them, and they were traveling all over the world. It was a good show. It was pretty cool. First they went to Japan, then they went to
I think I saw that.
It was a really cool show. It showed a different side of George, though, because he didn't like a lot of stuff, but he was really cool, and it was really a shame because they climbed these stairs to this Japanese temple, and George couldn't do it because his knees were shot. It looked hard. It looked bad for him because here's this guy who's an athlete all his life, and he couldn't get up the stairs. I like that show. Now I guess I won't have they had I think they did 3 years of that. I think they did 2 sequels. It was pretty cool. All right. Then I got this. I don't know how. I don't know how to explain it to you, so I'll just bring it up. I'm waiting for it. There we go. Coyote versus Acme. Couldn't find new life with Day, the Earth Blew Up distributor. The canceled movie would be a second Looney Tunes feature saved by Catch-Up Entertainment. Now, I think we talked, I think, remind me if we did this or not. Did we talk about the rules for the Coyote and Roadrunner? Do you remember that? You hear me? No.
I'm in and out.
I'm in and out. Okay. Let me try something here. Let's see if I can turn it up if I turn my microphone away from it. Check 1, 2. Can you hear anything now?
Yeah, I hear you fine now.
Okay. Now, there was some rules that we did the other week that you had when, like, for instance, Coyote is never going to catch the Roadrunner.
Right.
Because that would end the show. So, this is about, here we go. The film that ignited social media when Warner Brothers canceled it as a tax write-off might see the light of day after all. So they spent all this money on this show, on this movie, and they didn't ever release it. Indie outfit Catch-Up Entertainment, it's eyeing the rights of the film. The stars Will Forte and John Cena opposite an animated Wile E. Coyote. And, of course, neither of them can talk either, so why would they have Cena? That's weird.
Anyway, Ketchup and Warner's have been discussing a roughly $50 million deal for some time that would be the project in theaters for 2026. Though it's unclear if it'll close. Warner Brothers declined to comment. Ketchup has a history of putting Looney Tunes movies in theaters. I would probably go see that.
I'd probably go see it too.
Yeah, I mean, that's from our childhood.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. It's let's see here. It says it distributed The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, after Warner Brothers Discovery opted to shop the film rather than release it itself. Released wide last weekend, it earned roughly $5.5 million. Now I don't know what the cost of a movie like that would be, but I would imagine it's nowadays not that cheap to put one out. You know, I was thinking about that too. Do you remember when we were kids? It was if you had $100,000, you were really, really rich.
You were rich.
And even now, if you had $2 million, you're not really rich. I mean, these guys are billionaires, and you know, I can't even think of that much money. You know, I can't even imagine $1 billion. I couldn't imagine 100,000 when I was a kid, but you know, I think it's kind of funny that it's just, I don't know, just really weird to think about. Anyway, so we may see the light of day if they do indeed get that movie. So, okay, why can't I get it? There we go. Astronauts made it home. That's a good thing.
They made it home. They didn't get paid overtime.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, you know, even that has not made Elon look like a good guy. Because everyone is looking at it, oh, he's just doing it to look good. No, he's doing it because it's the right thing to do, and he's got the resources to do it. Nobody will give him any credit for anything he does.
Whatsoever.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think, you know, that let's just give him some credit. I mean, because none of us could do that. None of it. If we pulled our money together, we still couldn't do it. I mean, where can you go for $20? You know. But I don't know. I just think that they should cut him some slack. And I was scrolling through Facebook, which I shouldn't do because usually all it does is make me mad. Because anytime anybody says anything about Tesla, everyone's saying, you know, that you should get rid of your Teslas and all this stuff. And the one person said about attacking all the Teslas, and I just said, you know, the thing is, even how did I say it? I said that touching another person's vehicle is not the right way to do anything, because it's not gonna make Elon upset. All it's gonna do is it's gonna raise everybody's car insurance, and you're actually breaking the law by doing it. And by the way, there's Sentry systems on those cars, and they can see who does it. So if you're gonna do that, you're a criminal. And that's about as bad as it gets, I think. So I want to see some people go to jail just because they think it's really cool that they do that stuff. I don't know where they were brought up to think that it's okay to destroy people's stuff, but that's not my idea of fun. Got some birthdays, and you're not going to know some of these people, but you are going to know most of these people. Spike Lee.
69.
Almost right on, 68. Holly Hunter.
Holly is, I have no idea.
I didn't know either. I just remembered the name, and it won't let me. Why won't it let me do it? Come on, let me touch it. Okay, it's not going to open. Why am I? I'm not having too much fun today. She's 67. You probably don't know Ruby Rose, but Ruby Rose's birthday is here too. I'll tell you who she is. I doubt that you're going to know her because she played Batwoman, Batgirl, or whatever, in the TV series. And she was in the LGBTQ, and I thought she should have stayed with that part because she was really good at that part. And she gave it up after 3 seasons, so they killed her off. She's 39. Is it going to let me do any of this? Come on. I have all these so that we can look at their birthday or look at their pictures and stuff. And for some reason, I'm not able to do it. That's really weird. Why won't it let me do that? I put these links in there so I knew exactly who these people were, because a lot of these I wasn't really sure who they are. Oh, it won't even let me highlight their name. Why is it up there? Okay, I see what's going on. Well, that's not good. Okay. Mikey Day, he's with Saturday Night Live now. He's one of the funny guys on there. He's 45. I know you don't know who he is because you don't watch Saturday Night Live. Hal Linden. Remember Barney Miller?
Yeah, Hal Linden's got to be 87.
He's got to be 94. Man, I remember watching that show. Oh man, I can't fathom him at 94. How about Kathy Ireland?
I really don't know. I'm going to guess 69.
62. So that's pretty good. Gary Oldman.
65.
67. Here's our favorite, Rosie O'Donnell.
She has got to be 73.
She is 63, but she looks like she's 73.
Yeah, she does. I just saw her on TV.
Yeah, she didn't age well. Timothy Dalton. He was one of the James Bonds.
He's 65.
He's 79.
79.
It blew me away. Matthew Broderick.
Matthew's 72.
63. And his girlfriend, or I guess they might be married now. I think they're married now. Sarah Jessica Parker.
$65.
She is, where'd it go? She's 60. Jessica Chastain. I wanted to show you her, but I can't show you because it's not letting me do that. If it would oh, wait, maybe I can. Wait, I'm going to try. See if it brings her up. It brought her up. Why is it bringing that up there? Well, that was one that she also was one of them, but I figured you didn't know who she was. So I didn't give you her. Okay, so I pushed there and it went up there. Let's see if I can go down here then. Why is this doing this? This is really weird. Okay, let's try Jessica Jett. It went back up to Kathy Ireland again. Well, there's Kathy Ireland. She's looking good. She's 62. Okay, so Kathy Ireland is there. So if I go down here, that should be Jessica Chastain. There we go. She was in a bunch of stuff like Zero Dark 30 and Molly's Game. That was a cool movie. Did you ever see that one? She was a poker player. She was in Interstellar and The Martian.
I saw her there.
Yeah.
In The Martian?
Yeah, yeah. She was actually, she's actually a lot younger than I thought she would be. I was expecting her to be older than that. Gonna have a guess?
65.
48.
48.
48. Laura Flynn Boyle.
Oh no.
Yeah, I figured you probably weren't going to know her. And the only reason I know her is she was in something that I forget what it was that I. There she is. Now I don't remember why I know her. What was the reason I know? Oh, Men in Black. She was one of the characters in Men in Black. She's 55. You probably don't know her off the top of your head. Her name is Allison Hannigan, and she was in American Pie. But she's also was the host of the Penn and Teller show for probably 6 seasons. She's the one that did back in band camp. one day at band camp, she was known for that. Where is she? There we go.
No idea.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that if you would know who she is or. Oh, that's not going to be it. I got to go to lower. All right. Pain in the butt. Why is this not lining up? It's horrible when you can't do your links. All right. Oh, darn it. I guess I need to do it this way. Got to type it in. Got to do it the old-fashioned way. Got to actually type it. Okay. There she is. So she's but she, like I really liked her on the Magician show, on the Penn and Teller show. That was a cool show, and it was really, except she wore the ugliest clothes. I didn't understand that. I would imagine they are fashion correct, but didn't look very good. Kelly LeBrock. Don't know her?
Oh, no.
I can't remember who she is either without my notes, but my links aren't working. How about Robert Carradine? You know David Carradine. He was the karate guy that did Kung Fu. This is his brother.
62.
71. Then we
71.
got the last 3. The first one I don't think you're going to know. His name is Nate Bargatze, and he's a comedian. He's 46. I'm sure you don't know him. Oh, see, it brought up her. That's weird. The next one is Paul Michael Glazier, and you probably don't know him by name, but you do know him by Starsky and Hutch. He was.
Oh, goodness.
He was Starsky, I think.
And we're talking 80.
You are. Yes, we are.
87.
82, but I when I saw that, I'm like, wow, I feel really old now. Cause and then lastly, but not leastly at all, Elton John.
Elton's probably 79.
He is 78. Ding, ding, ding. So there you go. That's our birthdays for this week. Now if I can figure out how I can delete all these without... I'll figure that out later. I can do it that way. Cool. All right, next. Netflix. Okay, here we go. I wonder if any of these links... Oh, wait, this link might work. Oh, it worked. For some reason, it was just the birthdays wouldn't work. Netflix is ordering a competition series inspired by Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The series, The Golden Ticket, combines adventure, social dynamics, strategy, and it takes place inside a retro-futuristic dreamscape of a chocolate factory. I don't know if that would sell or not. I don't know. I don't know if I'd even be interested in watching it. I might. Oh, you can't hear me again. Why can't you hear me? Check. 1, 2.
You just came back.
Okay. Maybe my microphone. Check. 1, 2. You got hear that right?
I got you now.
Okay, I don't know if that. Okay. Anyway, Charlie and the Netflix has ordered a reality competition series called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or inspired by Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's called The Golden Ticket. So, I think I'm going to change mics so that this doesn't have to be right in my face. So, let me see if we can do this without any squealing. We probably can't. Oh, wait, what do we got here? Let me see. Because I have this in my face. Now, if we can get this. All right. Fun doing this on the fly. Oh, it is plugged in. Huh. I wonder. Could this be part of our problem? Hold on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. No, it isn't. I guess it's not part of the problem. But anyway. Okay, next. I wonder if I can do that. Let me see if I can activate this one audio. Check. It's activated. What the? Now I'm confused. All right, I got to figure out what is causing this to act weird. Okay, so I got to move this back. Okay, no, I'm going to take this and put this here, and then we'll put this over there. Now I can keep track of where the volume levels are. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Okay, next. Happy Gilmore is set to Happy Gilmore 2 is set to release in July. That'll be they were filming that up in New York and New Jersey last year. I could have been in the background, but I chose not to do that. So I was not in that film. But according to the Hollywood Reporter, Zero Day and Prime Video's Reacher finished first and second overall after premiering on February 20th for the streaming ranking. So that means the film I was in was number 1. What do you think of that?
There you go, Mike.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Well, not really. Nobody will even know I was in that, because I was way in the background. Okay, come on. I'm hitting this to close it. It won't close. Close. Come on, close. I don't like so many windows open. Let's close a couple of these. I still don't understand why this doesn't work when it worked so well. Oh, here we go again. You lost me again, huh? Okay. All right, hold on. Check. Check. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, in and out.
In and out. Rats. 1, 2. 1, 2. Can you hear me now? Is that any better?
Yes.
It is? Okay. See, I'm toying with the volume because the feedback is the problem. If I speak too loud, it'll feedback. Whereas when I did it the other day, I had a whole different system. I was using Bluetooth, and it was perfect. Everything was perfect. And you came on today, and the Bluetooth didn't work at all. And I don't know why, because it should have, because it's Bluetooth. So I gotta figure out what's missing that's causing that. If I can figure that out, we'll have a great show. And I can't figure out why all those weeks we had nothing feeding back or anything like that. Then we changed one thing, and then all of a sudden we had all kinds of audio issues. We're going to figure it out, and this is going to be a great show, and it's going to work, and we're going to be next week. You said you're going to be in the studio here,
Yeah.
so we're not going to have any of these issues.
I'm coming 2 p.m.
Yes, we're not going to have any issues next week because I'll be in total control of everything. So the thing is, what we're doing, for those of you playing at home, Doug is in Ohio. I'm here, and what we're doing is we're kind of zooming him in. I do want to try something next week before the show. I'm going to try to get you on the correct way of doing this, and that there's something built into this program that supposedly allows people to call in, and if that works with us, that's the way we're going to do it from now on. But the one time I tried to do it, it didn't work, but I have an idea why it didn't work now. All right, anyway, back to so Meta has its own AI called Llama. Did you know that?
Llama?
Llama. It's Llama Khan. Anyway, this Llama is a first-generation AI conferencing. I haven't played with it yet. I've got the download links, but I want to play around and see how it works and see if it'll be something we could use. But we won't know that till we try it. Okay, the Celtics have been sold. Did you know that?
Yes, and I knew that the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles was trying to buy it, but he didn't come up with enough money.
Do you know how much it went for?
No, I don't.
Oh, you're going to be, I hope you're sitting. So, the guy that had it bought it for $360 million in 2002. Now, he wants a return on his money, you know. So, if he got 361 million, he'd win, right? He got $6.1 billion.
6.1 billion. I think he made a little bit on his investment.
Yeah, a little bit. I hope he can live off of that. It's going to be tough. But, you know, I keep thinking about that. But then the WWE was $8 billion. $8 billion. I mean, I can't even fathom $8 billion. All right, where's my drinks? Darn. Okay, there we go. It's getting thirsty. $8 billion. That's just, phew. But we have more on that later. Tesla recalled 46,000 Cybertrucks that were manufactured between November 2023 and February 2025 due to an exterior trim panel that can detach from the vehicle. I read about this somewhere else before I found it on this other site, but that's a lot of cars.
It's a lot of cars.
I mean, if you're driving along and your parts of your car start falling off, you got to be worried. U.S. charges 3 people accused of using Molotov cocktails to set fire to Tesla cars, dealerships, or charging stations.
So they got 3 people now.
Yes. And I hope they throw the book. They got to throw the book at them. Show people that you can't do that.
Pam Bondi wants to charge them with domestic terrorism.
I mean, it is. I don't really consider it. Well, I don't know what you would consider it. I just think it's stupid that people are, think they get a license to destroy people's stuff. I'm afraid to drive my car because I'm afraid someone's going to do something to it. The stuff that I see putting on these people are putting stickers on the cars or painting the cars. with swastikas and stuff like that. Man, I didn't spend that kind of money for my car. Regardless of how much I spent for the car, if I spent $200 for the car and somebody paints it, that's bad too. But you know, I just think that people think that they have the right to do that. They don't. And I even said that on a post. You know, it's still vandalism, regardless of why you're doing it. Now here's the big.
Well, domestic terrorism brings a whole lot more jail sentence.
Oh really? Okay.
That's why they want to charge them, because they want to stop this type of thing.
Yeah, it's so stupid. If you don't like Tesla, that's fine. Just don't buy a Tesla. And you can talk bad about Tesla all you want. But when it comes right down to it, it's a good car. And anyone that destroys a car that destroys anybody else's property, it's just, you know, it's just not right.
You know, Tim Walz, who was governor of Wisconsin, was it Wisconsin?
Yeah, I thought, I don't...
He was the vice president running under Harris.
Yeah.
His state's pension fund is highly invested in Tesla.
Most of them are. Anybody that has an investment firm, I mean, they're looking at tech stocks, and Tesla is one of the tech stocks that has performed consistently.
Magnificent Seven.
And they just, and the thing is, they're not. I heard this before. I heard this today. Do you know what percentage of stock that Elon owns of Tesla?
No.
You would be shocked at it. It's like 14%.
Is that all?
I think that's what it was. It was 14. It was on. I heard it on YouTube, but that still adds up.
Well, that's a lot. That's still a lot of money.
I mean, 14% of all that stock.
It's Tesla stock. And so him 14% of stock. This is interesting. If Tesla went bankrupt, he's still going to be there because of his other things. Because of his, because that's 14% of his. I'm sorry. Let me back it up. 14% of his wealth is because of Tesla. Because he's got SpaceX and he's got all the other things too. So, they're not touching him. It's just crazy. I can't fathom even that kind of stuff. Anyway, so they're not hurting him at all by all that, because he's got all the other things going on. Let's see here if there's anything else I need to tell you about that.
Why are they picking on the cyber trucks to blow up?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Is it the most expensive vehicle?
Yeah. Well, no, it's probably because it's the most high profile, and a lot of people don't like the Cybertruck at all. I think it's a nice truck. I would buy the truck, and actually there are some pretty good incentives for that truck right now, and I would buy it if I don't know. The incentives really make you want to buy it though. Full self-driving. It comes with full self-driving, and it comes with lifetime charging. So that's a good reason to want to keep it. I don't know. I would consider buying it, but I'm still considering. But I don't know. I love my car, and they're going to revamp my car this year too. So that means it'll have better batteries and probably it'll probably have a lot better range and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it, because
that's going to determine what I buy. They have till October to figure it out. And plus, I'm looking at the van. If they have a van, I'll probably look at the van. You know me and Vans. Let's see here. What else we got?
Back to your childhood.
That's right. That's right. Okay, the next one. Endeavor. We were speaking about Endeavor buying WWE. Endeavor actually is taking a big step. They're going private. They're gonna own all their stock. They don't want stockholders. So I thought that was really that's really a big risk, I think, on their end, because if anything goes wrong, they're going to be stuck with it. The guy that's in charge of that was Ari Emanuel. It says Ari Emanuel steps down as the Endeavor, steps down as CEO of Endeavor, as part of the deal to take the company private. Emanuel will remain as CEO of TKO Group, which owns WWE and UFC. So that's pretty interesting. And it's interesting to me that they are going to go private. Everybody has this big goal of buying and not using their own money. But these guys really think that they're going to do it without being public. So, I mean, how often does that happen? It goes from, many times it goes from public to private, or private to public. But how often does it go from public to private? It doesn't happen a lot.
They have to buy out all their shares, right? They have to buy out all their shares.
Exactly. So it says Endeavor is private once more as the $25 billion deal by Silver Lake closed Monday morning. So they must have an investment. I guess I'm thinking Silver Lake was the investment firm that bought them out, or bought the shares of stock. With a take private complete, a slew of changes are in order. For starters, the newly private business will go by WME Group, retiring the Endeavor name for public-facing purposes. Ari Emanuel, who founded the Endeavor in 1995 and most recently served as the CEO of the public venture, will shift in a new role as executive chairman. Mark Shapiro, who has been president and COO of Endeavor, will become president and managing partner, working in conjunction with Christian Muirhead and Richard Weitz, the WME co-chairs, who will be co-chairman of WME Group. So, they're making money, so I guess they can't really. They made.
Well, they're making money or think they will make money.
Well, I can tell you, WWE, they paid, I think, $6 or $8 billion for them, and they're doing such good business. They're traveling overseas now. If you wanted to watch WWE on Netflix, you're going to have to watch it in the afternoon, or watch a replay. If you want to watch it live, you got to watch it in the afternoon because they're over there. So I actually forgot about that on Monday, and I watched a replay, and I thought, what do you mean replay? What's going on here? And then they were over in, where were they? Italy, or I forget what it was. But it's interesting to me that they're doing all this stuff because they have never really been in those parts of that world. They've been to some of those areas, but a lot of those areas haven't seen WWE in 20 years or more or ever. So I find it real interesting. And the other interesting part is watching Cena be bad that bad. I've heard him be bad because people hated him as a face. They hated him as a good guy. But they even hate him more as a bad guy. I think he's doing great. He's hit the nerve or something. I don't know what's going on there, but people are just really brutal to him. Talk about boring. And the funny part is that those people talk their own language and English too, and they say it all in English. So it's just hilarious to hear it. So I guess we're the only country that really is only one language for the most part. But
most other countries are in Europe, especially, are bilingual.
It's funny. All right, let's see here. What's next? All right. Oh, that's the other. Oh, I had two articles of them going public or private. Snow White was released and made $43 million on the domestic opening, which was really not what they wanted. That sounds bad. The good news is, says the good news, the $250 million production still had no trouble winning the weekend. Yeah. Oh, that Minecraft movie opens next week? Yeah, I think next week. That'll be interesting because that has Jason Momoa in it, so that'll probably do well. And Jack Black's in it too. So that'll probably do okay. Guess what? Pope Francis is out of the hospital.
5 weeks he was in.
He's not quite dead yet.
No. Contrary to rumors, he's not dead yet.
And I think God just doesn't want you to get points. That's the reason. I think you saved him. I saw that and I said, good. My hero is not going to die.
Probably the only one I'll ever get points for, and he won't croak.
yeah. Because I was sitting there thinking, how dare he be the first to get any points this year? And then I saw he got out of the hospital, and I was happy about that. Because I feel for the Pope. I would hate to see the Pope go,
Yes, Mike. We know.
I'm a big fan. I want to get an autograph. Trump is targeting Venezuela. He's going to have 25% tariffs on any trade with countries that buy gas or oil from them. Over the alleged Tren de Agala.
Tren de Agave.
Yeah, that too. Gang infiltration into the U.S. The tariffs begin April 2nd, and it's unclear how they will work. Do we buy that stuff? Do we buy that much stuff?
No, China's their biggest.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. It says that that's the biggest oil and gas. Yeah. In related news, a judge upheld a temporary order blocking Trump from deporting the accused gang members under 1798 Alien Enemies Act. I think we talked about that a little bit last week, or did we?
Right.
I think we did.
Yes, I think we did.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Do you remember Napster?
Yes, but I can't pull it out right now.
Well, it's not what. So I asked my AI to tell me about Napster because I know what Napster was, but I didn't know what Napster does now. And what it told me is it says Napster, the iconic music platform, was recently acquired by Infinite Reality for $207 million. Infinite Reality, a metaverse-focused company, plans to transform the Napster into a social music platform emphasizing active fan engagement over passive listening. Historically, Napster opened a subscription-based model offering various tiers to accommodate different user preferences and budgets. Subscribers paid a monthly or annual fee for unlimited ad-free access to the platform's extensive music library. Additionally, Napster generated revenue through strategic partnerships and licensing agreements, providing exclusive content and maintaining a competitive edge in the crowded streaming market. Visology, with this acquisition, Infinite Reality aims to revitalize Napster by focusing on interactive and social media music experiences, aligning with broader trends of repurposing legacy platforms for modern digital engagement. So that's apparently their new, whoever spent that kind of money on them. I would have thought you could make a Napster type platform for a lot less money than that, but maybe not. Then let's talk about the musicians of a week. We decided we were going to review Aerosmith. And boy, what a mess that was. Talk about
From the beginning.
Yeah, talk about a dysfunctional family.
Oh my goodness.
Breakups, togetherness, whatever it was. They could not. I knew about the Toxic Twins. I remember that from before too when I listened to the thing on it, because I watched that Aerosmith thing a couple times.
But boy, I'm telling you, those guys are lucky to be alive. I don't know how they all survived this long. Because we do a couple of their songs, and he's not the easiest guy to sing like. He is very, very unique in what he does. Wait, are you hearing feedback now?
No.
No, Christine, you hearing feedback now? I need to know. That's going to take a while for her to get. I need to know because I don't know what they're hearing out there. Maybe I could do that. Oh, let's see if we can do this. Where'd my headset go?
I could probably listen to it and find out. That would be good. I just realized that I could do that. Ugh. So much feedback, she says. Well, what's this? Okay, now we'll see if there's feedback or whatever. So, check 1, 2. Well, maybe we won't. Oh, that's right, because I gotta turn it on up there. Let's see what happens when I do that. Let's see. Do I hear anything? I do not. I don't know. She says she hears feedback, but I don't hear any feedback. I don't even hear any sound. So I hope they get sound. I can't hear anything. Let's see. Well, I don't know why it's not playing any sound. Comes and goes. Can you hear us now? Because I can't hear anything from my headset. Let's try putting another headset in. Maybe my headset's bad. Let's see what comes out of there. See if it gives me a better sound out of this. Of course, I hear nothing. Comes and goes. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do about it because I can't hear it. I could check it on my phone, I guess. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens when I put the phone on. Let's see what happens. Thank you, Tesla. Okay. Let's go back to here. Let's go to my page and see what's coming out as soon as my page picks up. Okay, what's going on? I got nothing. Yeah, it's good. Oh, that's why it's on the wrong. Let's put it on here. And then let's see what comes up now. Let's see what comes up. There we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's see what we have. I can't hear anything. Oh, wait, I hear it. Let's see what comes out. Oh, pig. Cancel. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, I hear nothing. I hear, just sounds okay to me, but I may not be hearing it the right time. Anyway, so, and actually, it shouldn't be feeding back because I don't have a whole lot of sound going out. Check 1, 2, 1, 2,
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so wonder if it's when I get real close. I don't know. We'll figure it out for next week because I can't quite understand why it's acting weird like this. Like I said, when I was checking it yesterday, everything sounded so good. It was going through this mixer and everything was sounding really excellent. And then, I come in here today and I try to set it up. Oh, I bet you that's a speed back there. That sounds like that might be it. Anyway, so then I come in here thinking that, everything's working and it's not. I can't stand it. So anyway, okay. What was I talking about? Aerosmith. Okay, let's have Aerosmith up here. They were together for over 50 years. That to me is just amazing that any band was together for that long. I mean, they were a great band. They were a great band, and they were the same members from beginning to end too. They never replaced anybody.
Beginning to end, except for that short period of time.
Yeah, and that guy quit and became their roadie.
The roadie.
So to have a band together that long without any band changes is amazing to me. And they did 150 million records worldwide. 150 million records. That just is crazy.
And they had a lot of hits.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was going through their hits today, trying to figure out if there were any others we could do because, I mean, with them not in the mix, we could be a cover band, an Aerosmith cover band. And there is a need for that. And I'm talking to a booking agent, too, that could make that happen. So I'm kind of excited about that because, maybe I could become a Steven Tyler groupie or wannabe, not groupie. So 150 million records, 25 gold albums, 30 platinum albums, and no less than 20 top singles. They started in May of '76. Now they were so I was thinking about this. So they that band started in '76, but they'd all started about 10 years before that. So I didn't realize they were that much older than me, but until I really sat back and thought about it, they are a lot older than me. And they did have some other things like the Joe Perry Project and Whitford and St. Holmes. But it was weird because they, like I said, they kept all the same members. So Ray Tabano played guitar and was replaced by Brad Whitford. But Brad Whitford stuck out as a crew member. So that was cool. And they had a list of do's and don'ts. Oh, so in June of '76, yeah, that's where I was going with that. June of '76, they were playing this place where they had a list of do's and don'ts. You weren't allowed to curse on stage, and you weren't allowed to drink. And Steven Tyler said whatever he wanted to say, and that meant he was in trouble. So the police were going to arrest him. And
he tried to escape.
Yeah, he went through the audience thinking he could get out. And I thought, oh, that's a cool idea, except he got caught. So, yeah, it was funny.
And so they bailed him out, and they got on their plane and flew out before any charges could get filed.
It's just weird to think about that you couldn't swear on stage when now anything goes on stage now. Comedians will outright say things that are, normally would be bad. It's just kind of funny that how much the times have changed. And that was just '76, because I know it wasn't that many years later that you were hearing all kinds of profanity on stage. Just funny.
Yeah, but how about the dry period they went through when they were doing Asia and they couldn't get any drugs?
Oh.
So, so they called a girlfriend and had her bring drugs to Hawaii so they could get stoned again before they hit their next concert.
That must be something real. I mean, I've never been much into drugs, so I can't really. I've never really had a vice other than food. So I can't really speak from a user type thing. But yeah, I can't imagine how much money that would have cost just
Well,
to get high.
they were broke. Perry ended up broke
Yeah,
because of his excessive spending.
those
All
guys.
that money they were making, and they ended up broke.
Yeah, yeah, and that's not a. I mean, that's not uncommon because they end all people that get into the excesses of the lifestyle, whether it be acting or music or whatever.
Athletics, athletics. There's a lot of athletes
Yeah,
that are flat broke today.
yeah, it's crazy. I can't imagine being that addicted to anything that I give up. The thing is, I'm in a different situation now because I was born broke, and my biggest fear is being broke. So for me to give that kind of excess, I'm not going to be able to do that because I just believe that I gotta make sure I'm never in that situation again. So even as I do these businesses, it scares me some of the things that we get into, some of the investments that we talk about, some of the like this school I want to do. It's going to cost me a lot of money in the beginning, and the idea of not being able to make it back scares me quite a bit. So I don't know. I think I'll be okay, but I can't imagine like my whole life being in music and then coming out with nothing, especially with the amount of money they made. I mean, they made $32 million contract with a record company when that wasn't really even a thing. They would never do that before. They were one of the first ones to do that, and to be broke
It was
after all that time.
with Sony Records.
Yeah, and Geffen Records was the other one that they did pretty much. I remember when Geffen was a big deal. So that stuff really, it really blows me away that people are that irresponsible with their money and able to live like that way.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know.
surprised they still function. All the drugs that they did,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised that they can function on stage. I
Yes.
guess it's because they got dry and rehabbed and
Right.
followed their rules.
Right. Right. Yeah. It kind of shocks me that they that they actually I'm surprised none of them have died
Yeah.
because we've had a lot of young musicians die from excesses. Like even like Kurt Cobain died at. A lot of the people died at 27. That seems to be the magic number. Morrison and Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all them, they all died at 27. That seemed to be the magic number at one time. But these guys, they're now in their 70s and they're just now retiring, and they're all alive. I don't know how they survived.
And they're all retiring with old age diseases.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. It's weird though. It's weird to think about all the things that they did and 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 that they're still out there, still alive and still kicking. And I'm glad they're still alive. I'm glad they're still kicking. But and they had I went through and I started adding a lot of their songs to my songbook because we're looking for slow songs, and I didn't realize how many slow songs they have. So I went through and put them into my catalog of stuff, and we'll probably pick up a song or two of theirs because we're doing 3 of their songs now, but we're not doing any of their slow stuff. So I think the nice thing is there aren't a lot of vocalists that can sing their songs, and I can. So that might make us stand out a little bit.
How about their reincarnation with Run DMZ?
That to me, I remember when that came out. I was so mad. I was like, "Oh no, they're not going to do this! I can't believe they're going to do this." Okay, I kind of liked the song. But it was kind of cool because it did a thing to revitalize their career, and it elevated another band's career. But the video was really cool. I really liked the way they did the video, and it kind of they were kind of like a mix between different genres anyway. You could say they were blues in some stuff. Yeah, they were rock. They were heavy metal. They were glam metal. They did some R&B. You know, it was kind of neat because they weren't just one style of music. And so many bands go out there and they have one hit, and the next song that they come out sounds like the last hit, and they can't come up with different. I mean, they're like that too. There's a couple songs that sound the same, but overall, they're pretty versatile. And
Pretty versatile. And
but
of
the
course,
thing was the Toxic Twins had to be together because neither of them did it on their own.
nope.
That to me is really strange. But then again, Calloway wrote a ton of songs together, and I don't think they wrote songs like that with someone else because I don't really. I don't know. There's a chemistry there. There's a respect there. There's what in the world? Okay, that's really odd. The truth I said you about? The message just started acting up. It's asking, sort of. Wow. I'm going to have to unplug it because it's behind. Okay. Where's that coming from? Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, I wonder if it's distorted now. Okay, something's weird. Now, see, this is really strange. This is really strange. What if that's what she was talking about? Okay, this is really weird. Okay, so 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 check 1 2. Gotta make it see if that's what I think I understand your issue now, Christine, because I know I'm frozen. Okay, that is it. It was distorting. That's weird. That's so weird. So that was distorting on what she said because I just heard it. So weird. All right, now it sounds to not be distorting. Get to hear myself on the, but I don't know why it just all of a sudden started playing. Let's see if we can. Okay, I turned it off now. Okay, so I know now what the issue with the distortion is. I fixed that, I think. Oh, man. Sometimes it just pays just to accept what you got and not try to make it better, because it seems like I can't make it better, but I will. I'm going to figure out how to do it, but it just is weird that all of a sudden started blasting out of nowhere, and I got to hear what she heard. Now I can see that it's actually pegging up in the microphone, so it's another show that's not going to be very good because of the noise, because of the sound. Anyway, I went through all their albums, and there really actually was only 1 or 2 songs on each album that I liked, and that was I thought there was a song or an album that had a whole bunch of songs like Pink Floyd. I can listen to from beginning to end.
Right.
But Aerosmith, I didn't find that I could do that. So, and it's funny that I never really thought of them as being, I thought of them as being a popular band because they've been around for so long. But I never really thought of them as a top band. I always thought of them as a good rock band. But when I found out that they got paid that much money at that time, I mean, back when they got that contract, $32 million was a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And so for them to live off of that money at that time, for them to be broke, the amount of drugs that they bought had to be astronomical. So,
well, and they said that Perry liked eating in fine dining. He liked to do fine dining.
Okay.
So he probably went to the top restaurants in every town he was in with his wife.
Plus drugs.
Plus drugs.
Did I ever tell you my story of? Well, you know what 6 degrees of separation is, right?
Yes.
I'm 2 degrees away from Stephen Perry. I know somebody who knows Stephen Perry. It was funny because this guy knows actually Stephen Perry's daughter, and he's the guy that directs our photo shoots and stuff, and he's also a talent scout and also is into fashion and stuff like that. And Liv invited him up to Maine to hang out with her at her cottage, which was really kind of cool. And Steven Tyler came over, and he was there. And it was funny because when we did a Zoom call, she was on the Zoom call too. And and he was saying about how Steven Tyler showed up at the house, and but how would you like to say, "Oh yeah, my dad's Steven Tyler," and she thought that she was the daughter of Todd Rundgren, which was in itself. But yeah, it was funny when I heard about all this. So, oh, that cracked me up. But anyway, yeah, I just thought it was interesting that they lived so long and they broke up and got back together and broke up and went to drug rehab and all the other problems that they had, and just they're still alive, they're still out there, and every album had at least one song that I liked. It says in 1964, Steven Tyler formed a band called Strangers. Later, Chain Reaction, and that was in Yonkers, New York. Then Perry and Hamilton formed a band, the Jam Band, known as Joe Perry's Jam Band, which was based on freeform blues. Hamilton and Perry moved to Boston, Massachusetts in 1969, where they met Joey Kramer, and Kramer knew Tyler and always hoped to play in a band with him, probably up until they actually got to play in a band together. Kramer was a Berkeley student and decided to leave school and join the Jam Band. In 1970, Chain Reaction and Jam Band played at the same gig in New Hampshire. Tyler immediately loved the Jam Band stuff and wanted to combine the two bands. In October of 1970, the bands met up again and considered the proposition, and Tyler had been a drummer and a backup singer for Chain Reaction. He refused to play drums in this band, insisting it would only take away from his being a frontman and lead vocalist. The others agreed, and the new band was formed. So then the rest is history, really. But that's really funny to think of Tyler as a guy that played in a jam band. And actually, it was also interesting to hear that he was bullied as a kid. So I understand that, and I understand the motivation that comes with that. You try to be whatever you can be and do whatever you can do, and that can never be enough. Some people just will find something wrong. But now,
think of all the people he went to school with that are thinking about what he is, what he became.
Well, the other thing is too is they were quite a show to watch. They were a performance band.
Yes, absolutely.
They were great on stage.
Yes, because they I mean they weren't. The thing is, Tyler did what he said he was going to do. He's not just a singer; he's a front man, and there is a big difference between those. You know, the fact that he could entertain and take it to that next level. So I respect that. I respect that a lot. And actually, after watching that special, I respect them more than I did before. Says here the members of the band reportedly spent afternoons getting high and watching Three Stooges reruns. One day the... Oh, wait a minute here. Can't see the rest of it. Oh, there we are. There it is. One day... Where was it? Lost it. Okay, now I can't see where did I see that? Darn it, I lost it. Anyway, but like I said, I really thought that they were definitely cool, and they came up with a lot of really, really interesting songs. And his voice is like no other. I mean, he really, he destroyed his vocal cords, but they when I try to sing along with some of his stuff, it's hard. It's hard to do. Oh, here we go. Tyler and Perry became known as the Toxic Twins due to their notorious abuse on drugs on and off the stage. Later commented, I've spent, how much do you think he spent on drugs?
I have no idea.
$64 million on drugs. And Perry scoffed, saying, "There's no way in the world you could spend that much money on drugs and still be alive." It makes a good headline, but practically speaking, that was probably a very small portion of what we spent on their money, or with their money. Can you imagine what it would be like to have that much money and just blow it?
Snort it away?
Yeah. I would have a lot of dogs and a lot of guitars. That would be what I spent on. But I'd have to buy a bigger house, too, to keep the guitars around. Let's see, is there anything... I mean, we know they all broke up and came back, and in 79-84, Joe Perry and Brad Woodford had left the band, and they started to work on their next album called Night in the Ruts, but Aerosmith decided to go on tour during a break in the recording studio, and I just think it was really cool. I mean, it's shocking that they're still around, and they pleased a lot of different types of people. They had a lot of fans and and plus Aerosmith when they were on Wayne's World was kind of cool. Wayne's World, party on, and that was funny. Anyway, anything else you want to say about them?
They had some problems. Tyler's addiction just went from drugs and alcohol to sex.
Yeah.
He really didn't get sober. He just switched.
Yes. Yeah. That's the way a lot of addictive personalities are, though. Is that's
right.
What they end up doing. They end up going from one addiction to the other, and man, that. You think you got one beat, and you know, it's the thing is, you're an addictive personality. You're going to be addicted to something. And I'm sure that with the people that you work with, you've probably seen that in helping people get through their addictions and stuff. Because you work with
I've seen it a lot. My first experience with it was watching guys drink coffee at night. They put about 27 scoops of sugar in their coffee.
Oh.
Well, that's to simulate the effect of alcohol.
Okay.
So they just go from from an alcohol addiction to a sugar addiction.
Okay. Wow.
So just because they needed a fix, and Tyler needed a fix, and if he couldn't get it from drugs and alcohol, he had to get it from sex.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be his wife.
Yeah. I would imagine that would be very difficult. Wow.
How about his manager?
What's that?
What his manager did,
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
Collins.
Yeah, that was a. I felt bad
That
for
was
the manager
sad.
actually. Yeah, I felt bad for the guy that dug him out of the hole, and then they left him.
Turned on him. They turned on him and fired him.
Yeah, that's horrible. That was sad. I felt bad for him. But that happens, especially in the music world.
Well, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have made it back.
Right. Yeah, he got them all back together and spent a lot of time trying to make things work. And I would hope that he got money for that, for some of it. I mean, because that's such a, I don't know, it's a bad business. Because you got to get the right people, and you got to, I don't know, I feel bad for him. And I saw that twice now, so the second time I felt just as bad as I did the first time. Anything else you want to say about it?
We've covered it.
All right.
We've covered
What
it.
about you? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
My computer's not working, but let's see if I can get it working.
All right.
Do you know what they do with old subway cars from New York City?
No.
Have any idea? There's 2,500 of them at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean,
What?
forming a new coral reef.
Jeez. That doesn't sound good.
Well, they use them to begin the coral reef process, so that they can form. They're trying to form more coral reefs around the world,
Okay.
and you have to have something to start it. And these subway cars are perfect things for the bacteria needed to form the coral reef to latch onto.
Okay.
So there's 2,500 of them at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean outside of New York City.
Huh. That is
Now, what are some of the things that aren't taught in school anymore?
cursive writing.
Cursive writing is one.
I would imagine that different types of math is not taught anymore.
Well, that may be, but that's not part of my list.
Okay. Trying to think what I used to learn in school.
How about shorthand?
Well, I never learned shorthand, so that would be something I wouldn't.
How about Latin? How about Latin?
Oh, Latin. Yeah, Latin. I had Latin one year. Yeah, they aren't teaching that anymore, huh? I didn't
about
understand
shop?
why they taught Latin anyway. It seemed like
Should be Spanish. If they're going to teach a second language, it should be Spanish.
Yeah, or something that's current anyway.
I'd have French. I never understood.
I had Spanish for 3 years, or 2 years, 2 or 3 years, I don't remember what. But my teacher kept getting pregnant and had issues with her pregnancy, so we get a substitute that didn't know Spanish, so we didn't really learn it. So I don't know.
That's funny. How about shop?
Don't they teach that anymore?
No.
So if you want to go to shop,
it's coming back. It's coming back in.
Huh.
And of course, that means home economics too.
Yeah. I usually tease my girlfriends about taking home ec because I say whatever, oh, they taught you that in home ec. Usually it's when we're fighting. I'll say, oh, they teach you the fighting like that in home ec. Something totally unrelated. I throw that into home ec or something just to try to get a laugh out of them. So, but yeah, I'm really surprised that. Well, I guess in the interest, I mean, back when we were kids, the women or the girls were kept separate from the guys, and now
Yes.
they're trying to make everything equal so that they can all have the same stuff. And in other words, the girls now can work on cars or whatever it is, and the guys can be homemakers or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what they teach anymore.
Well, I tell you one thing they don't teach is the food pyramid.
Oh,
That is no longer taught in school.
why?
It's gone out of favor.
Huh.
It's gone
Wow.
out of favor.
See, the thing is that I believe that if they really should revamp the school system to not as much teach things like home ec or shop or whatever, but to teach them things you need in everyday life. I mean, because kids come out of school not knowing how to balance a checkbook, not knowing how to do simple tasks that we all were forced to do. And I really think that they need to teach people basic adulting, for better words.
It's
how
called
do you provide
consumer math.
Huh?
Our plan for my grandchildren is 2 years of algebra, then consumer math.
Yeah. I mean, you should be able to do
How to do the stock market, how to balance a checkbook,
because you're gonna
how
regret it.
how loans work.
Yeah.
Things you need to know
Yeah.
to function in this society.
I totally agree with you on all that, because that's something that we should be doing. We should be taking care of. But they didn't even teach us the things we needed, as far as I'm concerned. Because now that I'm out in that world, they didn't teach me things I needed to know. I'd like to know, how do you apply for loans? I'd like to know, how do you apply for a grant if you wanted to get into school? All that stuff is stuff that we really do need to know, but they never taught us, and we could have avoided a lot of the pitfalls that we got in. Now, I mean, the kids today don't seem as motivated. Maybe they should teach them how to leave mom and pop's house and get a place of your own, because a lot of the new kids don't really want that. They don't want to. They're happy being there. They're happy not having to go out and find not how to live. I don't know. I just think it's weird that that the generation now doesn't seem motivated. They think they can do all the work that they need on social media. They think that they can make $1 million or more on socialization, social platforms, and some can, but the ones that can't,
Most can't.
the majority of them can't. A lot of these people don't want 9-to-5 jobs. Don't want to. Well, none of us wanted to go out and work, but we have to. And I think the problem is that they have it a lot easier than we did in a lot of ways. The parents are probably a little bit better, hopefully a little bit better financially when they're, and things are a lot different because you got everything hitting you from all sides now. You've got, let's say, you're being overwhelmed with a lot of things. Because, I mean, we, for instance, if we left the house, we weren't able to make a phone call unless we went to a phone booth, whereas you're connected all the time now with your phones now. I don't know. It's just the world is so different today, and the attitudes of the people are so different. So I don't know. I think about a lot of the things that we have been we had to work for that people are getting given to them now, and a lot of people aren't willing to put in the work. I mean, I know there are people our age that didn't want to do that too, but it seems to be a lot more prevalent now. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, actually, you're not wrong. There's about 32% of Americans who want to be socialists because they don't want to compete.
Right.
They don't want to work hard. They don't want to compete in the marketplace to earn their living.
Right.
They want things handed to them.
Yes.
Yes.
Sadly, that's true.
Sadly.
And
Okay, how about some jobs that were prevalent in the 50s that no longer are needed today?
Switchboard operator.
Perfect. That's the first one.
Really? Oh, well, we still need receptionists. We have salespeople. Door-to-door salespeople, probably. You probably don't.
Well, they still exist. They still exist, but that's one. How about milkmen?
Yeah, I remember. Did you have like this? You probably where you lived. You may not have had these because you were closer to the city than I was. But did you have milkmen come to your house?
Yeah, I can remember going out in the morning. I'd get up and I'd go out in the morning and I'd get the milk from my Aunt Peg.
But did you have meat men do it?
Yes, my uncle was a meat man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, my uncle, before I could remember. But he was a meat man.
Wow. See, I thought that was really...
He brought the meat to your door.
Yeah. Then they'd slice it for you right there in the truck, and you could get anything you needed that way. I would be willing to bet they aren't out there today.
No, they're not out there.
But as
how about elevator operators?
Elevator operator, yeah. Wow. Well, they still have that if you go to Hershey Giant Center. If you're taking the elevator from the bottom floor to either the second or the third floor, they actually have a guy that does that for you.
Yes, they do it in the Red Stadium too. I think it's in most public stadium facilities. Because people don't know what floors to get off, so they put them on there so they know what floors.
Yeah, that's true. How about let's see, what else do people? Well, doctors aren't coming out to your house. Trying to think what else. What are some of the other ones you got?
Typist.
What'd you say?
Typist. Nobody types anymore.
Typist. Well, I mean, kind of everybody does, but I mean...
Everybody types. Nobody types on a machine. They type on a keyboard.
This is true. I remember I didn't take typing. And I taught myself how to type. And because when I was in school, you didn't want to take typing because that's for girls. So you didn't want to take that class. And, now you have these people that are, people like me that learn typing the hard way by yourself. Yeah, that's true. We don't really have, secretaries actually have a completely different job now, too. Well, maybe they have different jobs. Well, they still do a lot of, still a lot of the same stuff, but they're not sitting typing all day.
Stenographers aren't needed today.
Oh. Well, aren't they court people? Are those stenographers?
Yes. They are they do it in court, but they don't do it in offices anymore.
Oh, I never really thought of.
Because if you want something typed, you record it, and you give them a recording, and they listen to it in their ear and type.
The thing is, that's going to be wiped out too, because AI can take that recording and transpose it for you.
That's right.
So AI
Things are going to change. And the last thing here, Mike, is motion picture projectionist.
I remember being in high school, and one of the things I wanted to do is learn how to be a projectionist. And it's actually back in probably
Regal out here, and I said, I was a projectionist in high school, and I know that's not what it is now. Would you take me a tour behind the scenes? And he did. And it was really the most interesting. You go back there, and everything's automated. And they download the film, or they get hard drives sent to them that they take those hard drives, and they got to copy the hard drives and send them back. And sometimes he told me some of their hours and days of worth of stuff that they have to actually do that with. And so I found that really interesting, that you could that you go from where you have to actually look at the two rods as they go in together. You had to make sure they were the right distance apart where you could destroy them. Because that was the way when I was a kid, that's what you had to do. They went from that to digital projectors, and this thing is all on. They set them up on time frames. So, like, if let's say you have 10 theaters, you could put any movie in any theater at any time by just a push of a few buttons that tell you, okay, I want Star Wars to play room A at 9 and room C at 11, and you could. It's just so cool that you don't even have to have someone to run it; it just automatically runs. And if you ever been in there when it crashes, though, that's a bad thing. But yeah, I've been there, and it was really cool because I got to see all that technology at work. And where I'm a guy that likes technology, I got to see how it was because I used to do it, and then to see what it does now. It's really an interesting thing to see that. So yeah, that would be. You don't really need a projectionist anymore. You need a technician to keep on top of it. You need a computer guy. See, a lot of the things are now replaced with computer guys, and even in the world of music, um, for me, like being a musician 40 years ago, you would take and you would like mix something with a mixer, and then it became a digital mixer where it was still basically the same thing. But now you can do everything with your computer to make it all work. It just is really kind of funny how the world has changed like that. So now everything's digital, and now it's a different world out there. So you got to be a technician more than you had to be as a kid.
Yeah. Hey, last thing, Mike. Why are covered bridges covered?
To
We know
protect.
they're really beautiful, and people love them, and people take pictures of them, and they've lasted, some of them, for 200 years.
Right.
But why are they covered? Why were bridges needed to be covered?
I would imagine that that's because when you had horse and carriages and stuff, you didn't have the protection if it was raining, and you could hide in those bridges when it got really nasty weather. That would be my guess on it.
Well, you're close.
Okay.
It's because of weatherization.
Okay.
Without the covered bridge, the boards would warp.
Right.
And the sun would beat them down, and they'd weather.
Yep.
And they'd fall apart.
Okay.
And so they covered them, and some of them have lasted over 200 years.
Yeah, actually, this weekend I spent. We went down to see a friend of mine whose husband died a month ago. They had a celebration of life, and she lives in Lancaster area, and there's still some covered bridges down there. And it was funny because as Christine and I went, I said, we're going to come up here and we're going to get on this covered bridge, and it's a one-lane bridge. She said, what? A one-lane bridge? And when she saw the one-lane bridge, she said, wait, how does that work? What if somebody's coming the other way? I said, you just wait for them to come through. It was kind of funny because, you don't see too many of those anymore. And it was cool to see that one's in like perfect shape. And who knows? I don't know how long it's been there, but it's, it was built by probably the Amish people and still working today. So
one of the other theories is that horses going across and people going across the bridge, if it was in April and the streams were high and the water was fast, they get scared, so they covered it so you wouldn't see it. That was one of the other theories. But
I could see
the
that.
real theory is
Yeah, I could see that.
weatherization. Yeah.
That would be. I could see that as a concern. Um, yeah, there's a couple bridges in Lancaster County that still are maintained, and uh, it's weird to think about that those bridges are that old, but they've been maintained, so they're actually nice bridges.
So that's what I got, Mike.
That's what you got. Okay.
It's all yours.
I got. There's a company called 23andMe. Do you remember that company?
23andMe. Yeah, I never used it, but I always wanted to. Not going to use it now, though.
Oh no, they declared bankruptcy. It says here
People are really worried. People are really worried about their information.
Oh, well, it says they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and announced the resignation of the CEO and co-founder Ann Wojcicki. It follows months of turmoil for the genetic testing giant. Oh, I thought 23andMe was a clothing store.
No, it's a
genetic testing.
DNA testing.
Oh, okay. They were founded in 2006, attracted millions of consumers seeking insight to their ancestry and genetic profiles, having sold more than 12 million saliva-based testing kits globally. The company's valuation in 2021 was nearly $6 billion after going public, and has fallen to under 50 million. 6 billion to 50 million. That sounds like a Steven Tyler.
Everybody that wanted to do it did it.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Yeah. It sounds like it sounds like a drug addiction like Steven Tyler would be. He had 6 billion and he's down to 50 million.
Yeah, and their computer system crashed today because people were trying to go in there and delete their information.
Ah. Yeah, it says profitability plummeted after a 2023 data breach that impacted nearly 7 million users, decreasing demand and harming the business's reputation. The company plans to continue operations and seek ownership to cut costs and resolve liabilities. And it says it won't change its current data protection policies, yet critics warn about potential privacy risks and suggest consumers delete their data. So yes.
So everybody in the country went in today and tried to do that all at once.
Yeah.
And the system crashed.
Jeez. Did you know that, well, I found out this is true. Thousands of Pennsylvanians will soon receive unexpected checks. I decided I was going to follow up on this and figure out whether I'm one of those Pennsylvanians. And I happen to be one of those. I didn't realize that I am owed money. So you can go and check your status on it. Where did I find that link? Oh, here it is. Those who have unclaimed property worth more than $500 can check the unclaimed property website to submit a claim. I had 4 different claims that apparently I owed money. So I don't know what's going to happen. I filled out the form today when I found out about it. I didn't know anything about this. So I'm going to receive some money. I don't know if it's legit. I mean, apparently it's legit. So apparently there's money that is owed to me from the government. Actually, part of it is from insurance, health insurance. 3 of my claims were health insurance. And one of my claims was, what was the other one? There was one, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a tax thing on the other one. But so I submitted for a claim. So that's interesting to me.
I can keep this if you want me to send you over, because this is something that happened in years. Maybe you're possible
Maybe
to get money.
Yeah, send it to me.
Looks like Trump kept his promise. Egg prices plummet. USDA's bold action brings relief to farmers and families. So apparently, egg prices are down to $4 from $8. At least that's what this article says. So, the Agriculture Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, announced a series of advancements in the Department of Agriculture's five-pronged strategy to combat highly pathogenic avian influenza and ease the burden of soaring egg prices. During the stakeholder update on Thursday, Rollins highlighted the tangible results achieved since the plan was implemented less than a month ago. Egg prices are falling, farmers are getting relief they need, and we're seeing meaningful progress in the fight against avian flu. USDA is making targeted investments and driving innovations to keep our food supply strong and affordable. It says here that the egg price, which was previously peaked at $8.53 a dozen, has fallen to $4.08 as of March 19th. So there you go. If you were looking for eggs, there you go. And that was one of Trump's promises was to bring egg prices down, although he probably had nothing to do with it, but he can get credited for it. What would you
not know anything about it?
Oh, okay. What would you think was the most ever paid for a one-of-one baseball card featuring Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Paul Skenes? Skenes?
Skinnies.
Yeah.
1.3 million.
1.1. Yeah.
1.1.
Yeah. That's just unreal that a card, a stupid little card, would be worth that kind of money. Some people have too much money.
If he turns out to be the pitcher that he's supposed to be, that card will do nothing but go up.
Real? Oh, he's a new guy?
He's brand new. He's a rookie last year.
Wow. Okay. It said only 5 cards have been sold. It says only 5 baseball cards have sold for more than that. Let's see if it says what the 5 are. That'd be cool if they did. 1.1 million. That's crazy. Crazy money. That shows that some people make too much money that they can spend that on the freaking
Mickey
card.
Mantle, you passed it.
Oh, did I?
Yep, go back up. Go back up a little bit. There you go. According to Topps, only 5 baseball cards.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Mickey Mantle sold for
more. Mickey Mantle?
Yeah, 12.6
million.
That's just crazy.
Mike Trout sold for how much?
Mike Trash sold for a lot more than that.
Yeah, 3.9 million.
What is going on with these people? That's for a card. That's come on now. I mean, you and we've been around the block, and there's no way I would pay that for a card. There's just no way. Even if I had that kind of money, I can't see spending that kind of money. I mean, Mickey Mantle's at least.
Would you sell the card?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If it was worth 1.1
oh yeah.
million.
I'd sell it quick. I would sell it for half that just to get the money. I can't imagine. I can't imagine spending that. That's crazy. I mean, $12.6 million for a little card. No, there's nothing in the world that would make me spend that kind of money. That's crazy. But hey, somebody will buy it, I guess. So I guess that's really what it comes down to. Somebody said there's a sucker born every minute.
Sure is.
I don't need one. I don't need a card like that. I just can't even. Well, how much
Stig,
money?
You'd spend $1.1 million on a guitar, though.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm even surprised that I spend as much as I do on my car. But that's a whole other thing. But no, that's crazy stuff. At least with a car, you have something physically that you can drive around in, but I still wouldn't spend that kind of money. 88-year-old couple gets married after meeting at their church's senior center. Okay, why is my? Okay, there it is. Okay. Oh, what happened? What's going on? What in the world? Whoa, what's going on here? Hold on. I lost everything. Wait, are we up and running? What's going on? What is going on? Oh, we're still streaming. I just had everything shut down for a second. Now I gotta see if I'm still up. We're still on. Okay. Well, that was weird. An 88-year-old couple gets married after meeting at their church's senior center. 88 years old. I hope they have a long life together.
I hope so too.
88 years old. What's the point? I mean, more power to them, but geez.
Well, there was this at my wife's mother's retirement facility. There was this guy that lost his wife, and 6 months after he's lost his wife, he's going around to all the single women in the facility, seeing if they would marry him because he couldn't stand not being married.
Wow. I mean, my friend was married that I went to see this weekend. She was married for 50 or 60 years. Her daughter's in her 50s, so I'm thinking, I think she said 50 years. I want to say 50, but it might have been 60 that she was married. And to me, I love this woman a lot. This woman has oh, you're not in the screen anymore. I love this woman a lot. She means a lot to me because various times in my life she's been around. She was around for Pam's death, for my brother Dale's death, for my friend Ken's death. She was there to actually talk to me, and she is a medium. So now, whether or not you believe in mediums, that's your choice to do that. Whether or not I believe in mediums, I don't know. But I felt better when I talked to her because I was going through some pretty heavy stuff especially with my wife, losing my wife and losing Ken. So I mean, when it comes to that, all I can say is that she means a lot to me because she was there for me, and I wanted to be there for her. And she's just a super person, and it was good seeing her, and I would have liked to see her on a more, on better reasons. But I've known her for about probably 20 years, probably a little over that, and she's always been very nice to me. Anyway, this is how about identical brothers marry twin sisters at a double wedding?
I heard this.
That to me is just really strange.
They go on the same vacation.
Yeah.
Same honeymoon.
I mean, there's some things I would share with my brother, I guess, but I don't know. I don't think I'd want to spend that much time with him. Identical twins Caleb and Jeremy Baker have always shared life's milestones, so it's only fitting that they married twin sisters in a joint wedding. Boy, if they're all twins and they look alike, how do you know if you're going home to the right one? I know you can't see Doug. He disappeared from the screen here. He's still here, but You know, I don't see him on my screen either, and I can't bring him up without. At this point in the show, it's
not worth it.
The time I would take to get him back on the screen. If he were talking, giving his stuff, I would do it because then I could do it while I was listening rather than. But anyway, that just seems really weird to be kind of going with your twin sister or twin brother or whatever. It just seems odd to me. But hey, you know, whatever gets them, whatever they like. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, that's their. I think it's kind of sweet, but not really what I.
It's too close for comfort.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel. Here's a question to ask you: is it illegal to drive barefoot?
Yes.
Here's what the law says. Wait a minute. I had it. Here we go. It is not illegal.
Oh, it's not.
I thought so too. I thought it was going to be illegal, but it is not illegal to drive barefoot. But they say it says driving. Now this is specifically for Pennsylvania, but it also covers other states in here too. Driving barefoot in Pennsylvania is not illegal. There are no specific laws at the state or federal level that prohibit operating a vehicle without shoes in Pennsylvania. That means you cannot be ticketed or arrested solely for driving barefoot. However, while it's legal, there are some other circumstances. Safety concerns, although it's not illegal, driving barefoot may pose safety risks. Your foot could slip off the pedals, potentially leading to accidents. I don't think that would happen. Potential legal consequences if driving barefoot contributes to an accident or unsafe driving behavior. You could face charges such as careless driving, driving a vehicle with careless disregard to others, reckless driving, driving with willful or wanton disregard for safety, civil liability. If you cause an accident while driving barefoot, it could be cited as a contributing factor, potentially leading to civil penalties and increased liability. Insurance implications. It has a whole bunch of different things that it says, but I believe it's not illegal to drive barefoot anywhere at this point. I think I read that in that article. I didn't see it where I did read it before earlier. This is so. What would you say the negative thing about driving an electric car would be?
An electric car?
Yeah.
Having to go out of your way to find a charging station.
I guess in some areas it might be.
Yeah.
In some areas it might be, but the biggest complaint that I have, or many people have, is the time it takes to charge. Now, I don't feel that this car that I have now, I'd like it to be a little faster, but it's really pretty good, because usually when I drive, I have to pull over every 3 hours to go to the bathroom anyway. So, and by the time I'm done, I'm usually ready to go with the charge, depending on the speed of the batteries and stuff, the speed of the charger. However, China has a new platform that it's capable of charging as quick as it takes you to fill up your tank with gas. Now, that will be an interesting thing, because the biggest complaint that I've heard from most people is the time it takes to charge. But there are some new batteries that are coming out, and I'm really hoping that Tesla has these batteries for the new car, whatever I get. And I think if they're going to redo the X and the S this year, which they're talking about, they'll probably put the new batteries in. But here's what it says is that China continues to raise the bar on electric vehicles, unveiling the new EV platform that can be recharged as fast as it takes to refuel a gasoline car. EV charging is painless as visiting gas stations are one less hurdle. And most of the people that I've talked to have complained about the time it takes. Like when I had my last Tesla, it took me probably an hour and a half to charge to 100%. This one, I mean, most times you don't want to charge to 100% anyway, but this one takes me to go 100% with a fast charger. I could probably do it in 30 to 45 minutes, but I don't ever go to 100% because you don't need to. You just go to, if you go to 80%, you can go 3 hours on 80%, and it takes me about 15 minutes at the most. So, but this new one, you're looking at charging to the new batteries that they're looking at. You can charge to 100%, and that would be, that'll be awesome if you can get the new the batteries that they have in the new Y. I think are the new batteries that do that. You can charge them to 100%, and you're not going to have a problem with it. But according to this, the 1,000-volt Super E platform will underpin BYD's, which is the name of the company. BYD is the Chinese company. Next generation vehicles, starting with Han L sedan and Tang SUV. Now they're not going to be available in the United States, but that technology will be. And it says it's a sign of the growing dominance of BYD, which sells both electric and hybrids. The one-time EV leader, Tesla, Tesla in China is not number one. BYD sells more because they sell really cheap cars, and everybody's buying these cheap cars instead of the nicer Teslas. But BYDs are not bad cars. So, and they're not in the United States, so we will probably not see a BYD. But at least they're the only competition that Tesla has right now, because they sell more cars than Tesla, but they're cheap cars, so they don't make as much money as Tesla. They're just selling cars because they're cheap. But Tesla's newest V4 superchargers will be, well, first off, the new technology that the Cybertruck has that no one does have except Tesla right now is the capability to charge at 325 kilowatts per hour. And that's the new Cybertruck can actually go up to 480 kilowatts per hour without overburning the batteries. So actually it says here, currently Tesla vehicles have a 400-volt system, but I don't think the older ones do. I think only the new ones do. And I think mine, I don't know if mine does 400 or not. I know mine, I've seen mine go to 250, but of course you have to have the faster chargers to see that kind of thing. But it's really, it's interesting to watch the technology grow like this, because it was only a couple years ago that it would take you hours. I mean, if you plugged your car into your house, just your 120 volt, you get about 6 miles per hour to charge. Whereas when you put let's say a 3-phase like I have on mine, you get 2-phase, you get 20 miles per hour charge. Whereas if I go to a Tesla charge station, you get like 235, 250 kilowatt hours for per hour, and the battery's only 100 kilowatts. So, you're going to get it in about half an hour fully charged. It's a give or take. So it's interesting to see the technology grow like that. All right. Let's pick one of these Reader's Digest ones. I'm going to let you pick which one. 16 No, 15 things you never thought your dishwasher would do. 13 things women weren't allowed to do 100 years ago. 16 things you should never end up with in your dryer. 12 everyday expressions you didn't realize were sexist. Let's see. 16 pet slang words you never realized existed. Yeah, let's pick from those. Which one would you like?
Let's do the things that women couldn't do 100 years ago.
I like that one. That was really actually very interesting. Some of the stuff that they said, it's just crazy. Here we go. This was this is from Reader's Digest. Women have come a long way, so they weren't allowed to vote. Some of these you know, I'm sure. So let me know which ones you know of.
Okay. That I know of, voting.
Okay. They couldn't easily obtain birth control. I didn't even know they had birth control way back then.
Yeah, I didn't either.
They weren't allowed to divorce. The men were only allowed.
I knew that.
I didn't know that. They weren't allowed to wear pants.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says, it sounds crazy to us today when we see the most inspiring women of our time, but of course there was a time when pants weren't considered suitable attire for women. In fact, it was often illegal. Many states had laws on the books in the 1800s and early 1900s that said women could not dress like men, which basically said they could not wear pants. So I found that really interesting. I didn't realize that that was the case. They couldn't join the military.
Well, that I knew.
They couldn't keep their maiden name. They couldn't smoke in public. Of course, nobody
I
can
didn't
now.
know that. Nobody can now.
Yeah. They couldn't own property if they were married.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either because I thought that was really kind of odd that they wouldn't be, you know, that I never even would have thought about that. It says until 1848, if you were a married woman, you couldn't own property. Anything you owned, regardless of how you came to it, belonged legally to your husband. In 1848, the Married Woman's Property Act was passed in New York, declaring that a married woman had just as much right to own and control property as a single woman did. It was groundbreaking legislation, and it became the mode for similar laws in other states. So there you go. If you were a woman, you couldn't own property. You couldn't shop without an escort. See, now I need to keep that one in mind for today.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
Exactly.
It says, could you imagine needing a chaperone in public at all times as an adult woman? That's the way it was in the 19th century. When women left the house, they were generally expected to be accompanied by a man. This began to change in the 1800s with the advent of the department store. The first department stores were designed specifically with women in mind and provided a safe place for them to gather. And of course, spend money. So,
yes.
Yeah, I never knew that. Work fair hours. Women have always been subject to discrimination and endured countless indignities like sexual harassment at work. But more than a century ago, they had limited legal protections in the workplace, and their hours weren't regulated in the state of Oregon. However, there was a law that restricted women from working more than 10 hours a day. This was challenged in a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court in 1908. The Supreme Court affirmed the previous ruling of two lower courts that Mueller, the owner of the laundry business, could not force women in his employ to work more than 10-hour shifts permitted by law. They couldn't serve on a jury. Compete in a variety of Olympic sports. I'm not surprised by that one. Have their own passport if they were married. I don't get that. I mean, why can't you have your own passport?
Yeah, that's strange.
Until the 1920s, single women had their own passports while married. Women were issued joint passports with their husbands. At the time, this was reflective of the fact that society frowned upon the prospect of a woman traveling without her spouse. More so, it was indicative of the social notions that women's identity were wrapped up in her husband's.
Yes.
And that was it. That's our main things that I found that were interesting. I found this. It was just somehow it linked me to Reader's Digest. Reader's Digest website is rd.com. Nobody's going to know that. Why would they do that? I mean, that's crazy. It's like you would think that they would have a Reader's Digest, because that's how. I mean, there's a term, the Reader's Digest version, but that's the way it is. All right. Well, I have tons of stuff I could do, but I think maybe we should just cut our losses.
Cut our losses.
And figure out what next week's show should be pretty easy because you'll be here. I won't have to worry about making anything. What are you doing? This little dog is driving me crazy. Oh, little dog drives me crazy. Yes, you are. You're a crazy dog. But I think we'll have a good show next week. But we got to figure out what the issues are, because we didn't have this many issues before. And what I think I'm going to do
We had
is
a string of shows, Mike. We had a string of shows where there were no issues.
Yeah. Well, we're going to figure that out, because I think I'm going to strip this computer down to its bare minimum and start over. That way I can set up all the drivers and make everything work with everything. And I got to figure out, if I can figure out a way to patch, the audio out of that computer, but I can't figure a way to patch the audio into that computer where it looks like it's working, but she said it didn't work because she was hearing all kinds of noises. And so I got to figure out, there's got to be a way to do that. There's got to be some way we can do that. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to buy some kind of USB device that's going to hook into there that'll transfer the audio back and forth. But so far, I thought it was working yesterday, and I thought, man, we're going to have a great show because everything's going to be right where it needs to be. And I worked on it for like 3-4 hours yesterday, and I was all excited because I was thinking he's going to come in here and it's going to be great. And then we ran into weird problems. So once we figure it out, it's going to be constant. The problem is figuring it out. So, all right. Well, shoot, we can't even end the show because I don't have my, I might have my outro. Let's see if we get the outro somewhere, because I think I probably do. Let's see, outro. There it is. I have it. Well, you know. There we go. At least I got one of them. I pulled the wrong.
Got one of them.
Yeah, we misfired in the beginning, and I played one that I could get in trouble for because it had somebody else's music, and I was thinking, oh shoot, now I'm going to get a strike, and then I realized I didn't hit the stream button, so, save myself. All right. Anyway, well, thank you for coming on, and we will talk next week.
We'll talk next week.